Well, everybody. If anybody's still out there, welcome to the community show for the week. Once again, technology jumped all over us. However, I was instructed that I love technology and technology loves me. You're all welcome to use that.
Affirmations are important.
Affirmations are important. Correct. So I'm kind of laughing, but I'm also very tired of this. And I apologize that this has happened way too many times. And I can guarantee it won't happen again because I won't go on them on these elaborate things. All we need is a Zoom link and that's it. So we'll clean this up. Anyway, I see we have Christopher. Maybe we have Christopher. He's invisible. I thought Robert was gone. Who's here from Sodom Council? And Sarah's here.
Hey.
And our friends up at Pine Ridge hung in with us. Thank you, Tom. Thank everybody there. I know you had a lot of fun. Yes, we are on Indian time and we blew it. But that's okay. We are getting started. We're going to hopefully have a little bit of fun tonight. No, we are going to have some fun tonight. We're going to work with the medicine wheel, specifically with the South. However, we can bring in some of the other directions if we like. South seemed to make sense. Actually, Christopher suggested it. There he comes. It's the time of heat. It's summertime, which here we're in this part of the world we're heading into. It's the time of creation and procreation. And so we need to create some things now. Anyway, we're going to dig into the South. But first, let's say hello to everybody and let's have a little bit of an opening prayer. Mr. Christopher, would you like to do that?
Yes, more than welcome. Okay, on this day, we greet the summer, we greet ourselves, we greet the growth, which is definitely needed at this time. We welcome it in a good way. The growth that comes in learning to listen to the mother, to learning to listen to life, its abundance, and the spring that we've come through to get to this summer. We thank the earth for all that she gives to us, her abundance, her joy, her opportunity to live a good life. We thank the technology which is allowing us to have this meeting and those who organise it. Thank you to Robert and whoever else has added to it. Much, much appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. And so the medicine wheel. Most of you already know quite a bit, I think, about the medicine wheel. But let me just do a little brief overview for those who don't. Medicine wheels exist all over the world. They're not just Native American. They're not just any one culture. I've been in other parts of the world when they've physically uncovered medicine wheels. I was called down to Belize once to see a huge medicine wheel that was being uncovered in the plaza of a very ancient town there. So they are pretty much universal. They vary a little bit, but not too much. They're generally set up in 4 quarters, a circle with a cross in it. And the 4 corners represent spring, summer, fall, and winter. They can represent other things as well, but for now, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it to the seasons. Maybe later we'll mention some of the other things. And friends up at Pine Ridge, please feel free to chime in. I know some of you are experts in the medicine wheel. The spring of the medicine wheel is comparable to the spring in nature. It's a time of new beginnings. It's a time of new growth. It's coming out of a dormant time and coming into a thriving time. It's a time where there's no fear, no doubt, because we're young and inexperienced and we haven't been taught fear yet. We haven't learned to doubt our own abilities yet. We just go ahead and do things. So it's a very active time. It's a time of deep learning because we're basically dropped into the East with little knowledge of anything. So we absorb things like a sponge. It's represented by yellow on the medicine wheel. When we spend our time in the East, it's time to move around the medicine wheel. The medicine wheel is a complete cycle of, it could be your life, it could be what you're doing that day, it could be our species, it could be a lot of things. But if you're looking at our life, our individual life, when we're done with the East, we begin to move into the South, which is the summertime, the red on the medicine wheel, time of heat, time of creation and procreation, like we said before. Animals of the field, the deer, the elk, mostly the small ones, but some of the others, the rabbits. They're all the totems. They're all animals of the South. It's a time of strong bodies. It's a time when we get out there and build things. It's the time when we can lift and carry, and our arms are strong and our legs are strong, our backs are strong. And so we build and build and build until we move beyond that stage. We start to get a little older. Hello. And we move into the West, which is the fall of the medicine wheel. Yeah, and this sometimes represented as the white, sometimes as the black. I've always represented it as the white on the medicine wheel. And so the fall, our bodies aren't quite as strong anymore. Our minds are sharper. Hopefully our hearts are stronger. And so we become the teachers and the guides to the ones who are following behind us. For those who are now entering the South, hopefully we become a good resource. We become good teachers. We pass on what we've learned. We share all our mistakes so they're not the same ones being made again. We have acquired a lot of knowledge and we start to put that together. We start to formulate pieces of knowledge, adding the knowledge together. The wolf is of the West, my totem. The wolf is all about family and community and protection. And so as we start to get rid of things we no longer need, things that physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, affect us in a bad way, we've got animals who help us. The wolves will not let that darkness come back in. So we're growing, we're getting stronger. And then we get a little older yet, and I'm getting dangerously close to this area. I don't want to, but no choice. And we move into the north. Again, it's either the black or the white, depending on which version or which group you work with. So for me, that's the black of the medicine wheel. It's the time of taking the knowledge we've gained, putting it together more fully, creating wisdom. It's also, however, a time of fear. It's facing the mirror. It's knowing your physical time here on the planet this time around is coming to an end. You're in the last quarter. But it's a time to learn that we don't really leave. You can't destroy energy. When our body is done, it stops and we go on. And in the ways of many cultures, we cycle back, if we wish, into the East again. We start the process over again. We're there to learn something new. The totems of the North, white buffalo, bear, eagle, the power totems. It's also where the strongest ancestors live. White buffalo calf woman, Jesus, black elk. I mean, you can go on and on with the list. That's where they tend to be. And so that's just a brief talk about the medicine wheel. Anybody want to add anything or question anything or whatever?
Not on the medicine wheel, no. But when we look at the summer in general, quite happy to drop in the perspectives that come up for me.
Okay,
And
let's see if we've got any more on medicine wheel, and then let's shift right into that. I'm just looking to see if we're getting anything from.
the important thing for me with what you're sharing with the medicine wheel
Mhm.
is realizing how the summer fits in as part of a whole cycle that includes all the seasons, not just of weather, but of ourselves, of life itself. And we're being asked to look at life at the moment. And to me, it's that time of thriving, massive growth, as you say, strong backs. Because what we're being asked to do at the moment is to give something that amount of attention and do. It is the time of doing. The coming together of the tribes, the people, to the planet, and the summer is that energy I feel carried forward into this, and that we need to approach this with at the moment because the planet is asking for us for our attention, our accurate attention to her, to the rules of life and to the ways of life. And that's what comes up for me very, very intently.
Yeah, no,
So,
yeah, sorry.
yeah. Yeah, it's just that urgency we have at the moment is the way I feel it for coming to the new way. It's not a time for sleeping. It's not a time for hibernating. The spring of it has already begun. I felt that last year when I was over there. And at the moment, it feels like we're in the summer phase of what we need to be doing. I see it not only with ourselves and SOTM, I've seen it with other groups. They're really starting to take concrete steps to get active, bringing people together. People are traveling and interconnecting. And remembering this interconnecting is on our Mother Earth or in her, if we look at her atmosphere as part of her. And we're bringing the knowledge together, the wisdom together, and we're starting to form what is the path we're walking now, this new path, the path of the openness of the heart, of feeling, of expression, of community. And to me, that once again is what we see happening in summer. All these things are building and growing and establishing. And it's that expansion of life that's come through the spring.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but see we're in the summer phase of what we're intending to do. And yeah, it's just surging through me at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, no, I hear you. Were you done?
yep,
Okay,
talking stick in the middle.
thank you. I thought you were, but I realized I didn't ask. Um, yes, I'm feeling all of that too. And we've been beginning to weave a new existence in the East. We're still working on that, but we need to carry the weaving now into the South. That's what I'm getting with when you speak, Chris. We have to
Yeah,
be in the South now. We have to start building because it's beyond short what's happening and the changes have already started. Those of us who've been around a long time and have watched this and felt it and worked in it, we know it. And other people now, every day, more and more people are saying, hey, has this already started? Yeah, of course it has. We're in the heart of it. It's going to take a while to play through, but we don't have a long time to implement. So it's that building in the South that's so important. Just here's a little side story from me. Maybe some of you all have something similar. I see Tom does actually up there in Pine Ridge. Um, Those that know me, I started getting arthritis a couple years ago. Well, I've had it for a long time, but it got bad over the last couple years to the point that every time I walked, I was just hurting. And at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was sit down and scream inside because the pain was so bad. And yet I need my legs. We're creating, we're building. We're not in the East now, we're down in the South. And so I went into that and I kept being told by my guides, nope, don't do the surgery. That's not what you need. It's not going to solve it. So I've been toughing it out. And then my friend Love, Haley, who was on with us, a few weeks ago, Chris,
Yeah.
she does the frog medicine, Campo. Now, I've done a lot of different nature-based things over my life. I've delivered them and I've had them delivered to me by others. So I expected, well, this will probably be something okay. Whoa, I'm up and walking. After we did one treatment, which I was a little nervous. So I did a small dose. And then I did 2 more after it, which is this 3-peat she does. We have to get her on here someday to talk about this because it's remarkable. And then today I did even a larger dose. And it's really, I mean, it's not perfect, but what's perfect? I'm not 25 anymore, but I'm actually up and walking. Yesterday, the two of us had to go do some things. We were walking almost all day, all different things, walking on concrete, and I could do it and didn't feel bad. And so we've got others she's working with, and other people are providing this. I'm just saying, for me, it was absolutely remarkable. So for anybody, okay, I see we're getting some responses on this from Pine Ridge. Anybody who's got anything that they need some help with right now, work with nature. Either go out yourself and connect in, which I'm always doing, but I think right now we need somebody to help guide that process. And I don't know how extensive this will work for me or for how long. I don't care. It's working right now. And I can walk with a little bit of discomfort, but nothing like Chris can tell you. He was here last year. I would have to move our stuff around and then I would have to sit and sweat and wait until the pain passed. So it's we're getting what we need right now. And in the summer, we need the strong bodies. And I think it's going to be really important. All of us. The young ones, absolutely. They can carry the bulk of the load, but we older ones also need our bodies. We need to get out there. Chris is out in nature pretty much every day, documenting what's going on in nature. It's really important we do those things. So in this South time, well, okay, here's some big agreement from Pine Ridge. They loved your description, Chris, and they're totally agreeing. Yeah, they're seeing some healing things going on that they've never seen before. And most of it is nature-based medicine. There's a lot of different things out there. Just whatever you find, make sure you check it out carefully, because there's also a lot of stuff out there that's not worth its name on paper. Wow. Okay, from up there as well. Yes, make sure you check anybody who is providing it, is providing nature-based. Ask them questions. How long have they been working with nature? How many teachers have they worked with? What tell us about your successes? And yeah, I think you should do that. People do it with me, and I'm fine. I'm happy to tell, hey, here's what I am, here's what I do. If that seems to work for you, great. And if not, hey, go find, because we all need something different. We definitely need all something different. I love the timing of this too. And I know I'm going long. I'm sorry. I'll shut up in a minute. But we're going to have our first Inipi here Sunday, Sweat Lodge in this area. So I'll be pouring the lodge 5 o'clock Sunday. And I was wondering, for those who don't know Sweat Lodge, it's going into the womb of the Earth Mother. The lodge is rounded, sits on the earth. We go in for a few hours and pour water on the rocks and pray and sing, and it's a purification lodge. But I was wondering how I was going to get through it with my knees like this. I'm just figuring, well, I'm going to be in sheer pain. Well, today, after I did this compo, because she was giving it to a few people, I was sitting there with my legs crossed, and I sat for about 30 minutes, and virtually no pain. So what we're needing is just evolving along. Can't wait until you get here, Chris.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We're gonna
It-
frog you,
I'm,
buddy.
yeah, I'm thinking about my own situation. If it's suitable,
Yep.
could be worth trying
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
works on, and again, there's a lot of different things, but this one is not a psychedelic. It's not any of that.
Yeah,
It's the medicine of the frogs and a lot of peptides. And Love knows a lot more than me. I'm just spouting the little bit
yeah.
she's taught me. So summer is the time for that stuff. I'm seeing a lot of healing right now, a lot. Um, I ran into a couple people today who had approached me a couple weeks ago to help them because they were just in really bad shape. And they were feeling much, much better just with some little things I suggested and some things they tried. So now I'll shut up and sticks in the middle.
Cool. Robert, Sarah, either of you want to add anything at the moment? No? Okay. What I'm finding for myself as you're talking, Jim, that healing is happening on so many levels at the moment. And part of what I've seen coming through with that lately is what we call the wounded masculine energy. Because essentially we're living on a planet where the majority of us men are actually coming from a wounded place, a separated place. This is where we have hierarchy, it's where we have separation. Disconnection in any form is part of that analytical, mechanical mind that's got caught up in separation. We're behaving from that way. We've got cultures that are predominated on that perception of separation. They try and have power over each other. We try and take from each other rather than what can we give. It's when we're taking, we're emptying. When we're giving, we're providing life. And for me, that's where a big part of the summer energy comes in. We're giving, nature gives, life gives, and we're part of that. When we tune into the mother, I don't see her taking. She doesn't show me taking in any way, shape, or form. It's all about giving and passing that prosperity, that abundance, that life, that vitality that we find in connection, passing it on. Because without that, it's like if it meets a wall and can't flow, it's like any life. You know, you stop the flow of air into your lungs, you stop the flow of blood in your body. We die. And life's like that. Life is part of the flow. Life is flowing. And we're part of that flow. We don't get what we can from life. We don't find that empathy, that joy of sharing, caring, giving, empathy, feeling another being, feeling their pain, their sorrows, their loves, their compassions. All of these to me is the life-giving qualities. And without that, we're stuck. We're stuck in vitality. We're stuck in intelligence because any intelligence that comes from a perception of separation doesn't understand our connection with the mother.
Mhm.
That's my strong words. Talking stick in the
That-
middle.
Yeah,
That's good, Christopher. Sorry. That's good, Christopher. I like that one. I like it a lot.
those are my strong
Thank you.
words. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You know, we're in this stage now, as you shared the other day, Jim, it's feeling like time to travel again. And I'm right in there with you. And hopefully won't be long, I'll be right beside you. We'll travel because it's getting out there, doing the doing,
Mhm.
but it's also meeting others who are learning to share with the same message and interact and learn from each other. So once again, we're not taking, we're gathering and sharing. And we appreciate the wisdom of others, which to me is part of that life cycle as well. Life's not a competition, life's an abundance of flow. The more we flow in whatever way we do, the more in life we are, the more in life we're inhabiting, and the more in life we're expressing. We pass it on to our children, we pass it on to our peers, we pass it on to our elders, which Jim and I apparently, so feel free to pass it our way. We're feeling the shortage. I won't say the shortage, the slowing down of some things. But yeah, it's interesting. I just can't help but feel that thriving at the moment, which has been called for and opportunities being presented. You know, I see it when we have areas that have been in flood recently, which to me is the change is already here.
Mhm.
We're seeing it in Brazil, we're seeing it in the United States, and it was in Africa all at the same time. When we look after our neighbours, there's more chance that more of our neighbours survive and thrive. And it's that caring for each other that supports us as a whole community, not in separation. In times of emergency, in times of need, it's community that wins through, not separation. You know, I see people picking others up off with boats and helicopters and working with teams of professionals or neighbors working with neighbors. And for me, it's sad when I heard a story from Brazil where rescue people were in an area and they pulled out because there were gunshots. That's not community. That's away from life. That's what we're being asked to address and say, this is broken. It's a broken wheel. It doesn't have anywhere to flow in that behavior. It diminishes rather than replenishes. And summer is that replenishment where we're getting the fruiting trees. We've got the grasses going where, you know, there's small rodents that gather from the grasses to build their nests. There's the gathering of the fruits for storing through the winter and that. And through the next phase we're going into, this is a time of gathering the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding that we're going to need and going to be working with through the times to come. Once again, I feel complete in this moment. Talking stick in the middle.
Were those your strong words?
We're
In the
getting there.
middle. All right. Good words. Yeah, I'm getting again from Pine Ridge to remind you and others, or to tell you, you're right about the masculine energy right now, but to remember this is the sixth Earth we're going into, and that it's gone back and forth between male and female each time. Sometimes the women are in control, and sometimes the men. Neither is a productive way forward. This time we have to be together. We have to work together. It has to be an equality, or we're going to fail. And we can't fail this time because it's the last shot. So thank you for that up there, folks. I see grandmother Sarah came up with that. Yeah, but that is one that it's really important to remember, because this is not the time to point the finger at anyone. Even those, matter of fact, especially those who are in that hate spot, Chris, where you get gunfire or words or whatever. They're doing their job. In order to weave something new and heal over to things that are, we have to see it and feel it and understand how destructive and inhumane it is. And I think that's what some people, that's their job. That's what they agreed to. And here they are. So I thank them for that. And I'll thank them even more when they leave. But for now, they're doing their work.
Yeah, it's a very good point. You know, we don't learn if we don't have the lessons to learn from.
Correct.
But, you know, a big part of what I'm finding There's myself and some friends were working with a piece of land recently, just doing a clearing on the land.
Mm.
And we immediately connected with the feminine energy coming
Mhm.
through, the Earth Mother. And we all got it, but a friend of mine felt it and was bringing it through her words, where she said, "Nobody owns me." And that was the voice of the Earth Mother.
Mm.
And it was pointed out to us how it was the wounded masculine that was trying to own and possess things, stopping that flow that we had to tune into. And I'm one of those wounded males. I've got wounds that I haven't healed yet. So it called me back to me. You know, if we're going to do this in a balanced way, we have to find balance in ourselves. I find it important to notice if we are out of balance, own it and come back from it. And it's like you said, Jim, and the way I look at it is like a pendulum. The pendulum swings left and it swings right. But there's that moment when the middle,
Mhm.
where it's neither
Yeah.
one direction or the other, and it is in touch with both. And that is the balance point. Within the same 3 days, I was out with somebody, and it's the first time I felt a feminine energy that literally walked beside me. And I walked beside them. There
Mhm.
was no forward or back. There was just a balance that I've never felt before. It's coming through the earth, but it's coming through people as well. For me, it's been a blessing to find. And long may we walk this way. And, you know,
Yeah,
I can't help but going, yeah, sorry,
sorry.
talking stick in the middle.
There's that quote that I can't remember who it is at the moment, but well, that'll come to me. But that we do not own the earth, and it was a native chief, one of the ones from the Northwest, I believe, who was talking about how ridiculous the white man was trying to own the earth. And the teaching is you cannot own the earth. We're on it. We're allowed to use it. We're borrowing it from the generations who follow us, who will then borrow it from the generations who follow them. But the earth is the earth and her own presence. So yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. What absolute ego and hubris could think we could, well, we could own anything. What do you own?
Yeah,
Seriously,
can't take it
what do
with
you
you
own?
when you die.
Yeah. When you die, you drop these robes, so we don't even own our bodies.
Yeah. The illusion of ownership and the illusion of separation.
Yes, and it's a means many people use to um, fight fear
Yeah,
and to think they've actually accomplished something. You know, it's like counting your money.
yeah,
The more you own, the more important you are,
yeah,
and that's about to get turned on its back big time.
yeah, totally.
Hmm.
I'm having a wee chuckle about this fighting fear. To fight it actually justifies its need for its existence
That's
because
right.
it feels adversity, it feels conflict, which is, oh, good thing I was here, you know, which is not so. It's the fight's only there because the fear was there. The conflict is only there because somewhere somebody was in fear.
Yep.
When you're not in fear, there is no conflict. There is no disharmony.
Well, it's,
Yeah,
I mean, fear exists. Fear drives a lot of the darkness that comes. The trick is, how do we get around that and eliminate the fear? And that's by doing things, feeling things, seeing things that show us there's really nothing to fear.
yeah,
That's why when we came on the program, I was actually kind of joking around, but not really, because we were all trying to get on. And once again, for like the fifth time in a row, the show was set up by other people, and neither of them was there. Luckily, Robert showed up, and none of us could get on. And I was just really frustrated. And I'm going, this is ridiculous. I will not do it this way again. I've said it before and now I mean it. And Love's sitting over here across from me and she's chuckling. And she's the one who said, hey, just keep repeating. I love technology and technology loves me, and do away with your anger. And so I did it and I found myself laughing. Now she had to go
Yeah.
she had to go present a program somewhere else. If it doesn't go right, I'm curious if she uses the same medicine.
You gotta love it. Well,
Yep.
it's the same with traffic. Always remember in traffic, I love you. I love what you're doing.
Mhm. In traffic?
Yeah.
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 And then you get tailgated. You get hit in the, oh, sorry.
You gotta love it. Yeah. It's interesting, you know, and that brings me back to when, for those who don't know, when I came back from America, I arrived here on the 24th of November. The 25th was my birthday. The morning of 26th, 2 o'clock in the morning, my car, which is parked on the street, gets hit outside. It was a hit and run. I put out an ad to see if anybody knew who it was, and the person themselves came forward
Wow.
and they approached me. I didn't take out anger on them or anything like that. We talked reasonably. And they bought my car off me. They offered to buy my car at market value. Now, the lead up to this, when I got back to New Zealand on the first day, I said, and it was very clear in my mind, where am I going to get the money to come back to the US? Within 36 hours, there was the sequence of events that led to me having money because I haven't replaced the car yet. So my money for my car is essentially going to pay for the trip, this current trip to the US, which is coming very, very shortly. So if anybody would like to get in touch with me and Jim while we're there, like to be part of our tour, so to speak, people that we visit, please contact Jim. And we'd love to include you where possible. But it's the thing, what seems like a bad thing turned out to be a good thing. And it was very quickly. And I found I didn't get caught up in anger. I was just in the moment. It's like, oh, this has happened. There was no judgment to it. There was no emotive anger expression or anything like that. It's just it's happened. This is the potential consequences. I'm going to have to walk. I need to ask people for rides. I looked at practical things that were going to need to be in place. Yeah, totally.
Summon it.
Yeah, and it's just we naturally move on to solution-based behavior. We don't need conflict. We don't need fear. We don't need aversion. No. They disturb the flow. The quicker I got in the flow, things flowed. The person who had made contact with my car came forward. They rung up. They were honest about it. And we worked together cooperatively. And look at the result. You know, to me, this is the way things worked. It worked that way. I'm pretty sure if I got angry and frustrated and swore at the person, did all sorts, we wouldn't have had the outcome we did, where we can both move forward. Amends have been made from clear communication, from honest communication and acceptance of each other. The person acknowledged they'd made what they saw as a mistake. I said, I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate you coming forward, and we work together cooperatively. And to me, that's the benefit of cooperation. That's the benefit of community. We're not in challenge with each other. We're in support of each other. The more that support spreads, the more it grows. And this is once again back to the summer. This is the time of growth. We've got a new way being presented to us. The way of the head and separation isn't working any longer. Jim and I learned so impactfully on our last trip, and we've both had it confirmed since then. Anything we do from our heads doesn't work. It's our hearts that now lead the way. And it's not our heart in separation, it's our heart in listening to the mother. She brings a solution, she shows us the solution, she takes us forward. The solution to my car is one that I didn't imagine. She came up with that, the powers that be, whatever it was, whatever you want to call it. The process of life came up with it. And I believe that is because we were putting good energy out. Talking stick in the middle.
So I'm getting from grandmother Sarah again. We're Sarah on both ends tonight, I guess. That this is the medicine of the South of the medicine wheel. This is building. This is coming together to build something better, Chris. This is time we have to unite, and we know that. We've been working on uniting. Now we got to build. Got to weave a new way. And I think that's what we're doing. And that's a new way that you got. That rarely happens. You know, people end up in court instead of you got a resolution that seemed fair to both of you. And she's asking now, okay. She wants to know where we'll be going. And grandmother, I don't know. I hope we come up and visit you all at Pine Ridge. Things are changing almost daily. I know Love and I are going out there in sometime probably late June into July. I don't know if Chris will be here to do that too or not. We'll see. Or if I'm going out with her and then going out with him or whatever. I just don't know. But as many up there who know me know, this is my medicine gathering. This is where I get my medicine that keeps me going for the year and helps me do my work and heal things or be the vessel that things are healed through, actually. And some of that is a spiritual thing. It's just going to the sacred places and absorbing the energy. And some of it is physically collecting. And that also is all summer work. And she's also asking, she says, and I'm really curious, is this woman you're mentioning, is she native? And how old is she? Uh-oh. Grandmother, put me on the spot. She does have native blood, yes. So she's part native. Like me, she's a Mongol. Oh, dear. What the hell? She's 26 years old. She's a young one. I knew it. Part of this is generations must work together in harmony as well. Good point. And a lot of us have been trying that for a while, and it hasn't always worked out too well. Sometimes it does, sometimes not. But this seems to be working. Our medicine's very different, and obviously we're coming at it from incredibly different approaches, two ends of the medicine wheel, pretty much. She's just heading into the summer, and I'm heading into the north. And that's power work. So yes. Please share what you do as you go along the way because others can learn. That's absolutely what we intend. Just like Chris and I did last year and we'll do again this year. And he was just talking about, we learned pretty quickly when we went out on the road last year that we could not think our way through this. Nothing was working. Everything we planned fell apart. Every place we thought we were meant to be was wrong. Every person we went to meet didn't show up. And so as soon as we gave up and went into our heart and just allowed all this to come to us, it was a 180, right, Chris? I mean, it was night and day.
Totally.
Yeah. And so we learned that last year for sure on the medicine walk. And I've never gone with anybody on such a powerful medicine walk as last year. And this year, I think could even be more powerful because there's going to be key people involved who haven't done it before.
Yep.
We're going to learn by it. And then others like Chris who now have a little bit of understanding about what it all is. And that's something we've got a bunch of people who are out there. We've got a bunch of nomads out there now, not just me. And that's good. And when you see them or when they show up on your doorstep, invite them in, ask them to share with you, give them something to eat and a place to sleep, and you'll be amazed what starts to develop out of that. It's part of going back to the old ways, but in a positive way and only a limited way. We're not going to go live in huts again, but we can sure live in circle again, wherever we are.
Mm.
And thank you, Grandmother Sarah. That's really excellent. I'm glad you asked those questions. I hope when somebody listens to this, I'm still glad you asked those questions. I'm, I'm sure I will be. No, I'm absolutely sure I will be. We've laughed about it before. Ooh, what else on the South?
What I'm looking at is something that you spoke to, Jim, is, oh God, now I'm losing the words. Trying to remember it, putting it in my brain, trying to remember it. Now it's slipping.
Put it in your
Good
heart.
brain activity. I love it. Yeah. To me, it's that gathering, and that's part of what we started last year. We were gathering the knowledge, the wisdom. That was the start of the journey. And this time I feel our journey, and just to key you in, I'm hoping to be able to come over in 2 to 3 weeks, which should be early June, middle of June at very latest. So yes, I'd love to go on the journey with you. Now, if I can get there sooner, I will. Yeah, but it feels this time it's moving into a deeper phase of connection, because we learned the beginning steps last time.
Mm-hmm.
We got those lessons. And so long as we keep them with us, I feel things a lot deeper than we did last time. I don't know what it's about. I don't have to know. I just need to follow our feelings like we learnt. And that's going to take us where we need to go. I feel talking to people. I see random conversations. I just feel that sense of getting drawn to something, somebody. I see random phone calls, touching base, whatever it is, just feels it's outside the analytical approach. Totally outside the analytical approach. But I feel a depth with it this time that is beyond what I felt last time. And Jim took me through hoops last time. He took me to places. I tend to be a feeler, so Jim took me to places and gave me no prelim at all, and just what I was doing and what I was going through. And it was really like the floodgates opening on stuff that I'd never touched before and never felt so intensely. And I just rode it. And, you know, we were driving, what is it, away from First Mesa. We were 2-3 hours away, and I was still going through stuff that was coming up.
Yep.
Yeah. And I feel it's deeper this time. So I don't know what that's about, but for all of you who we hope to see, I look forward to learning, because I feel it's a time of learning for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I have my own knowledge and my own abilities, I feel a sense of silence for a majority of it. You can't receive when we're busy talking or when we're filling the space all the time. We've got to allow that space for things to come in. And still, I see this as part of the summer season. It's receiving and the giving in portion.
Mm-hmm.
So, talking stick in the middle.
I want to talk. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, feel
I
free.
want to talk.
I wasn't gonna call.
Sorry. I want to talk, but I have that fear in me, fear of letting loose,
Yep.
fear of what I might say, or, people might think of it. I don't know.
Mm.
Now I have anxiety and it's hard to talk around people, but with you guys, I feel a little comfortable, in
Mm.
my skin.
It's certainly appreciated when you've shared before. Your
Yeah,
words were, I'll call them worthy words. They were worth hearing. And I still thank you for that. And your
thank
words are invited. And I offer space for that. Anything you feel you need from us as support yeah, we're here to support and we feel appreciation already.
thank you. Oh,
I give the space to you.
oh. I don't know if I want to.
Take your time, just breathe in it.
Sorry, yeah. Fear was always instilled in me. When I was born, I had a birth defect, and a lot of people would say, um, I'm mentally retarded or whatever like that, and it was just difficult for me growing up. And yeah, I don't know what else to say after that. Sorry.
No, that's
It's all
good.
right. Yeah.
Letting go of some of those fears you have. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because
Um,
yeah,
sorry.
no.
I was gonna say like I have to train my brain not to think like that, and like some like other people won't have the same heart as me, and I can't get so emotional over that. So
Yeah,
I would offer, yeah,
go
I
ahead.
would offer whatever emotions come up. It's allowing space for them so we can reflect on them and learn from them. We don't have to take them out on other. So honor your emotions. They're there for a reason. They've got something to share, something to show you. We have emotions that we think of as constructive. We have ones that we think of destructive, but that's only when it impacts something beyond ourselves. If we sit with it with ourselves, let it come up, we're not taking it out on anybody, we're reflecting on it. What is the message you carry? Now, I talk to my emotions. What is the message you carry? Why are you here? And that applies to me personally as well as my emotions. And when I understand them, I then know how to work with them constructively. Everything has a reason for being there. Even if we don't like it, it doesn't matter. It has a reason. And that reason is worthwhile to
Mhm.
listen to and to learn from. The same as life. It's
yeah,
only when
because
we make it wrong that it becomes a problem. Yeah. It, talking stick in the middle. It's yours, Sarah, if you'd like to continue.
yeah, and um you can't move forward if you're always stuck, and
Mhm.
it's been hard, it's, it's a hard situation just to be stuck in something that um it's just hard to be
Yeah.
stuck. And fear and fear,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry, I have anxiety, so it's like I don't know what to say.
No, you're doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the lovely things I notice, it's the fact that you feel open enough to share tells us that we've set up a lovely practice ground for you to step in and just share what you're sharing. This is where communication starts, by having the space. And I, for one, am certainly open to giving you the space so you learn to talk the same as we do. And I had those fears of public speaking,
Oh yeah.
had to work my way through it.
Sorry, I
And
don't like
it's,
public speaking at all. I'm sorry. No, you have it.
it's all right. It's mostly gone now. Getting me to talk isn't the problem anymore. It's getting me
No.
to shut up.
Yes. You've actually balanced very well now.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love it. And thank you for gentle guidance in that direction as well. Jim is one of,
Not always gentle, but okay.
yeah,
You know, Sarah, one of the things you said too, and it's important that when we do things that are difficult, we're helping other people because we're not the only ones that have these things, obviously. So each time I do something that's difficult, I know it's going to help somebody who's behind me and goes, oh, look, he's afraid of that, but he did it. So I think that's a huge benefit too. I was actually an introvert, a really bad one when I was young. I couldn't even speak. It was horrible. I didn't ask a girl out until I was 16 because I couldn't even speak to a girl. So I had to get over that. And my way was when I went to college, I signed up for theater, became a theater major. So I forced myself to go in the opposite direction. That doesn't work for everybody, but it worked for me.
Mhm.
And now you're talking a little, and yet I'm going to share this, Sarah. I don't think you'll mind. I called on Sarah to speak once before in a program because a couple of the grandmothers were actually asking the question, not me. And she let me know that was not a good idea. And she was right. I didn't even think about it. And now tonight she's speaking. That's the medicine wheel going around. You're changing directions. I respect that because it's not easy. I know that. We're even getting,
it's
look,
actually,
between the two of us, well, for a minute, between the two of us, we managed to have Chris be quiet. Oh,
I love it. Thank you.
whoop.
Yeah, took 10 weeks planning for anybody who's listening and watching this.
Yeah, when I was
Yeah,
born, when I was born, the doctor said, I would be mentally retarded. And then, my parents, thought that, and then it just trickled on from there. And, I'm not actually like that. I just don't have the right words to say sometimes. And I don't know.
Mm.
Not very articulate to people. I'm not
Yeah.
comfortable with people. So,
Do you feel complete with that?
yeah.
Yeah. There's a thing I find, and I know Jim has been through his own journeys, but I really didn't feel comfortable talking to people at all. I used to push people away, keep them at arm's length because it felt safer than having them nearby. And I've worked through all of that, and I had to practice what words would I use to describe this to somebody. And I'd sit down, I'd meditate with it, I'd have opportunities to practice, with small groups, and it's got bigger and bigger and bigger until I just have a sense of flow of communication. Most of the time, with the last trip to the US, we had 5 public events that we attended, both Jim and I. And I felt comfortable with them so long as I had time to sit with myself and come from the real me. When I'm authentic, it feels real. People can say what they want, but they can't question what I feel, my experience, and where I'm coming from, because that's my experience. They can help me build on, learn from it, but you can't deny what I'm feeling is what I'm feeling. What I've learned from life is my lesson. Some people have been able to add to that, which is a beauty, which once again is working in community. But to me, it was that growing process I was going through. I had a winter where I was pushing things away, trying to stay on my own little cave, and I had to poke my head out at some point. And I was grateful that people were around me, gave me the chance to practice. They gave me the chance to interact and learn. And I grew from there. And this is why I feel such a beauty about offering you the space that you can play with as well. And it's like a child. We play with it. It's more fun. And we learn from those things. You know, we don't look at, if we look at deficit in somebody, we're not actually seeing the person. We're seeing what we think should be there. But when we see the person, we see the beauty, we see the talent, we see your personality. And for me, that's welcome. The same as Jim welcomes me when I've traveled over there. And, you know, we greet each other in the morning. You know, it's just, yeah, the more it happens, the more we thrive. Not just individually, but as a community, because you are part of this community and you add your piece. Without you, we are not complete. It's only because of you that we are complete. And that's the beauty of it. When we understand this, we understand life. Whatever it is, creepy crawlies, birds, fish, four-leggeds, two-leggeds, air, water, earth. We're not complete unless it's all here, acknowledged, seen, felt, and experienced, and you're part of this experience.
Oh,
So thank you for your presence.
Thank you for your presence. That was pretty good. That was awesome of you. And I haven't heard that recently, you know. I rarely hear that,
Yeah.
really.
It's easier to pass on when we've been given it by others. And because I was given it, I was given that opportunity to thrive from experience and from experiencing. And I've learned a lot from it. I had people who gave me guidance along the way, and I still have people who give me guidance. You know, as Jim expressed before, you know, he helped me balance out between talking and giving other people the opportunity to talk. Because I was used to doing workshops where I'm the only one presenting. Therefore, it was just me. Now I'm in an interactive community and I'm learning to be part of this community. And that's a valid lesson, you know, and that's helping me thrive. Which, you know, once again, to me, is that thriving and striving time. That's the time we're in now and coming to. And I'll certainly be coming to it because it's coming into winter here, so I'm going over to summer.
Luckily, I moved.
Yeah.
You won't be able to find me.
Oh, no. Gotta love it. Yeah, we'll be over shortly, brother.
Yep. He knows my people, so I can't hide. Yeah, boy. Whew, this was really good. The Pine Ridge folks are saying thank you to all of us. They would really like to hear more about the combo. So I will talk to Love, and she's gone off for a week and a half. So a few weeks down the road, maybe we can put together something. They want to hear more about it, and they want to share for us more about buffalo medicine, which they know I know. So that could be a really good interaction. And Tom and all of you up on Pine Ridge, I know I've asked, I don't know how many times, but if any of you would come on the Zoom, you know, we'll find a way. We'll get you to the casino where you can get a signal. We'll get you a computer to use. Something. We would really welcome that. But if you don't want to, if you want to continue this way, it's totally fine too. I respect whatever it is. I would just love to have that interactive discussion face to face. Especially, you know, you guys can help me understand the Kiwi.
Thank you. Yeah, but I'm gonna
However,
echo Jim's.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
However,
go for it, Jim.
yeah, however it works out, we will absolutely put together that program. I know Love will be up for it, and I'll be on with her. Chris will probably show up. Sarah will probably be here, and we'll bring in the folks from Pine Ridge, and let's do a nice buffalo medicine versus frog medicine. How alike, how different. And if anybody who's listening or hears this later wants to get involved and bring in a different medicine, another nature-based medicine, let us know. Pardon me, and if it works, we'll do it. Or we'll have a separate program on whatever else is out there. You know, there's other medicines like ayahuasca. Those are much more intense, and they're hallucinogens. Ah.
You
And
do it too.
yeah, right. Yep. Oh no, I screwed up. Oh, I did that for the longest time. Yeah, no, I think that's really good. So we got a few minutes, Chris. You wanna?
Yeah. What I would like to share at this point is the motivation we find in the summertime. We started talking about the summer. I'd like to end this talking about the summer. That motivation, that ability to thrive and strive, that life and vitality that we know is available. And the mother keeps reinforcing to me, it's time to listen. She's the holder of this. It's those of us who listen who receive the gifts of her abundance. And it's time to work in with that, because those who haven't worked in with it, they're stifling the process. And we need to come back to being part of the process, not separate from it, affecting it, but as part of it, living it, growing with it. We are part of that striving and thriving energy. We're the Earth Mother's children. We're part of that living organism that she has created here. And we're just Earth walkers, made by her, living in her and with her at her grace. And this is part of what I see we're coming back to the listening, which I can confirm for anybody who's doubting it or wonder what's the benefit. For me, it's been a healing journey like no other. Letting go of separation has allowed me to feel a sense of life and find a sense of life that I've never had before. And the community I see coming in around us has been huge and significant. And yeah, there's things happening. There's so many things happening. It's almost more than I've got time available for. And there's still more we've got to do. And as I indicated before, I'll be back over in America shortly, and we'll be continuing our journey, all going well. I'm just putting in my application for the visa now, so cross fingers for the visa. So, yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Sarah, thank you. And grandmother Sarah up in South Dakota, thank you. And Tom and all the other folks who were there tonight. Whoever hears this, whoever plays this, as we always have a lot of people do after the show, we'd love to hear what you think. So comments are really appreciated. And if you get as much out of this as I felt I did, please share it around. Share the link around, let others hear it, and send us thoughts, ideas, questions for future shows. We are actively now looking for good ideas from other people. We're probably all running dry. There's not that many of us. So anybody with some good ideas, please send them along. This is a community sharing event. So come on in, community, and share with us. That's all I got.
And it'll stop me talking all the time.
And it will stop Chris talking all the time. Oh.
I need to talk more.
Yep. Well, whenever you want, just, put your hand up or wave or whatever, and we got it.
Yeah, I'm going to give my thanks, as I usually do, to our brothers and sisters in Pine Ridge. I'm really starting to feel your energy so tangibly now. Yeah, I just don't have words to thank you enough for your contribution and what I feel from our connection. Yeah, I don't have the words. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Jim. Love you guys.
Yeah, good show. And so I'll finish this out with, we only got 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That's good. Creator, God, universe, Wankatonka, thank you so much for this time we had here to share. Thank you, Earth Mother, for hanging in there with us. I know we humans are a bit slow and not too effective or efficient when we move forward, but a lot of us are trying, and I know you see that. Thank you for the new people who are showing up and speaking up. Sarah speaking up here. Love showing up out of nowhere. And the list is long. So we thank you for this. We want to have that continued help. We ask for everything we need now to be given to us, because it's no more a matter of need or want. It's all needed right now. And so, Creator, we ask for you to cover our needs, and we will keep doing the work. We'll even do more of the work because we won't have to spend a lot of time covering our own needs. So thank you for hearing us, everybody out there. Thank you. Tom, grandmother, all the others up there, thank you. And thank the audience that comes. I know you're listening. Sometimes you put up comments. That's awesome. Let's let this thing grow. Aho, Matapiase.
Aho, Matapiasan.